Welcome to the Lucky Country. Today, we journey back to one of the toughest chapters in Australian history, the Federation Drought. It was a time when the land cracked, rivers ran dry, and hope seemed to vanish beneath the dust. But it also became a defining test of Australia's endurance and spirit. When Australia became a federation in 1901, optimism filled the air. A new nation was born, united, independent, and full of promise. But as the country celebrated, nature had a different plan. The years that followed would bring one of the most severe and prolonged droughts in recorded history, what we now call the Federation Drought. The drought began in the mid-1890s and stretched well into the early 1900s. For nearly a decade, rain vanished across much of inland Australia. Rivers like the Darling and the Murray shrank to stagnant pools. Livestock perished by the millions, and farmers watched helplessly as dust storms swallowed their livelihoods. By 1902, the drought had reached its peak. Over 50 million sheep and 500,000 cattle died. In some areas, rainfall was less than a quarter of the usual amount. Small towns were abandoned. Wells dried up. The land, once the foundation of prosperity, became a symbol of despair. Even city dwellers felt the impact. Food prices soared, water restrictions spread, and the sense of security in this new federation began to crumble. At the time, Australia had little understanding of the climate cycles that drive its weather. Some turned to faith, organizing rain prayers and processions, while others looked to science. Early meteorologists began studying rainfall patterns, trying to make sense of what seemed like nature's betrayal. Out of this hardship grew a national realization. Australia's future depended on understanding and managing its unpredictable climate. In 1903, the rains finally returned. The drought had broken, but the scars it left behind were deep. It reshaped Australian agriculture, economics, and politics. Governments began investing in dams, irrigation schemes, and water conservation, knowing that such droughts would return. The Federation Drought became a lesson, one that taught Australians to respect the power of the land and adapt to its rhythms. More than a century later, the legacy of the Federation Drought still echoes through Australia's history. It's a story of suffering, resilience, and adaptation, a reminder that this continent demands respect and innovation from all who live upon it. From the dust of despair rose a nation that learned to endure. The Federation Drought was more than a natural disaster. It was a defining chapter in Australia's story. Thank you for watching The Lucky Country. If you enjoyed this journey through history, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share your thoughts below.